Hello everyone, I hope you are doing good in this lockdown situation and hope everything is gonna be alright as soon as possible. Today I'm here to review Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. It's a non-fiction book which feels like storytelling, brilliant with so many eye-opening ideas. The author is basically exploring who we are, how we got here, and where are we going. First, I'll share with you how I felt reading this book. I felt like my eyes and mind were a drone camera flying all over space and time, re exploring and rewatching the history of our species all over again. This book is structured around four big chapters: the cognitive revolution 70,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution 12,000 years ago, the unification of humankind, and the scientific revolution 500 years ago. Homo sapiens means wise men, but does that mean that Homo sapiens are the only species of humankind that ever existed? Actually, there are two very similar species that existed. The first one is Homo neanderthalensis, I can't spell that correctly, and Homo erectus. But how come that these two species didn't survive? Well, evolution favors the species who make stronger social links. It favors tribes, and that what made humankind, Homo sapiens species survive. Now let's get to the part where humans were technically in the middle of the chain food, and they had bigger brains. They started creating tools. Well, from that they moved to taking over all the planets, becoming a threat to the planet and to other species who once were the masters of the world. They now are even capable of creating complicated technologies, and that's thanks to imagination. Imagination is the key. It is what gave us this power to be the masters of the world. Yuval Noah Harari talked about a very accurate example in the beginning of this book, which is money. Think about it. Money in itself, as a physical entity, doesn't mean anything except in our collective imagination. We humans have decided that money is something that can buy us anything, literally anything, and especially food that is necessary to our survival. This isn't normal. It is a concept that we created and decided to give it meaning and value, and that gave us a really powerful tool instead of exchanging things like our ancestors did in the past, which required a lot more energy and very limited options. Same thing with capitalism. The thing about this brilliant concept is our collective trust in the future. I can give an industry money for it to start production and wait till the production process is over and the selling is done to get my money back with benefits. And I can give another credit to do the same again and to have bigger benefits. So that's basically based on my trust on the future. I trust that this product will be sold and bring me back my money plus benefits. On the other hand, we can say either you are religious or not. I think that we all can assume that religions maintained order and laws. Not really just religions, but anything we can trust in, even if you don't want to call it religion. You know what I mean? This reminds me of a scene in Vikings between Ragnar Lothbrok and King Egbert when they were discussing heaven and Valhalla and gods. And Ragnar said, "What if they were no gods?" And King Egbert says, "Well, if there is no gods, then anyone will do anything and nothing will matter, nothing will have value or meaning, so even if gods doesn't exist, it will still be necessary to have them." They were both believing in different gods, and they thought, King Egbert thought that it will still be necessary to have gods to maintain that order and laws. Okay, last thing, there is one idea that got my attention in the end of this book. Well, actually, I'm not saying it's the only one, because this book was full of wait a minute moments, rereading paragraphs 2 and 3 times to get ideas through, you know. Fun thing, I was reading this book at the same time as my colleague, and we used to read on lunch break and discuss some ideas while we were reading them. Cheers to that. Anyway, I'm coming back to the idea I was thinking of. It's about the future of technologies that our human species is developing right now. It is basically concentrated on artificial intelligence and e-learning, but also oriented on creating inorganic, like parts of bodies, like arms for people who don't have arms maybe. But we are all asking, how would it be if humankind is able to create an inorganic consciousness? That is the whole new idea that we are all thinking about right now. And if we do, how much control and power will this inorganic creature will have over us? I mean, maybe they will be able to develop things that we will not be able to understand. It will be like trying to explain some complicated algorithm used in Wall Street to a chimpanzee. Like, that's a possibility. So yeah, the big question here in this time is oriented this way. Can we really, our species is able to create an inorganic consciousness, because it already created so many inorganic parts of body that can be actionable by thoughts, something like that. Okay, to finish, I really think everyone must read this book. It will give you a whole new perception of the world, and in order to know our future, I think we first should really understand our history. Ciao.